are some other ways besides, obviously you haven't done it yet, but like the Spotify thing, what are some other ways that like artists can do to like get their music out there, find new people? Obviously, you can use social media, but what are some things that?
I mean, I'm telling you, like, this is like hustling. Like, every time you go out in public, have like airdrop your songs to people. Like, I do that sometimes, and like 9 out of 10 times people
uh,
will decline it, and then 9 out of 10 times, in that 1 out of 10 times, people won't like it. But still, like, it's just something like, but it's more so like a testimony to the level that you got to be grinding at than the actual method. Because if you're doing stuff like that 24/7, like always, man, you're gonna find your people. You're gonna find your audience. Another good way is like just instead of just typing in the ads on the Spotify, you can go to like Instagram and type in stuff like slept on sounds or promoting sounds or bangers of the day, like music promo brands like that, and like
mhm.
just shoot your shot, man. Just DM them and be like, hey, I like your channel. I like the songs you post. Like, would you mind checking out some of my stuff? I think it would fit. And that's something you got to do.
Mhm.
And the majority of the time you're either going to get no response or you're going to get shot down. But look at me and Cyrus, like that one time when somebody like gives you a chance, that's all you need, man. That's all
Yeah.
you need. So that's another way to do it. Just shoot your shot. Doesn't matter with who. There's
Mhm.
always a chance. The worst that's going to happen is they say no. Like,
Yeah.
what, like, that's the worst that's going to happen. So
What are some things that you've learned just kind of over time about whether it's music, whether it's industry, whether it's making music, whether it's life, just kind of like from where you started a little bit from to maybe kind of help other artists as well.
um I would say don't get discouraged if people aren't rocking with your music right away. Don't be discouraged if people really are rocking with your music when it's new. And then as time goes on, even though you're getting better, people stop liking it as much. That's
Mhm.
normal. People are always going to like something when it's new. People are going to like that. And then once that newness wears off, it doesn't matter if your quality's improved 10 times, once that newness
Mhm.
wears off, they're going to some people, not all, some people are going to, stop supporting, stop caring as much.
Mhm.
You just got to keep your head above all that. You got to believe in yourself. That's the biggest thing, is self-belief. And then you just got to keep on making music. You got to make sure to keep it enjoyable,
Mhm.
because if you're not enjoying the process, then what's the point? Like, the only reason I make music is because I absolutely love getting in the studio, working on a song, writing lyrics, finding beats, and that's why I do it. Like, I don't there's really no other reason. Like, there's other things that are good about it, that I like, but that is the base of everything. If that didn't exist, nothing else would exist. And I've got something else too.
Okay.
And this is something I wish I would have realized way earlier in my career. I mean, I've been making music for 4 or 5 years now. I wish I would have realized this year one. Don't just rely on the support of the people from your area. You can't do that. You have to realize, like, there's going to be some people from your area who really support you. There's going to be some who don't, and that's great. But you can't just rely on that. You got to get your music out there. You got to
Mhm.
figure out ways. Whether that be, you know, individually emailing Spotify playlist curators and being like, "Hey, get my song. Can I get my song on your playlist? I like your playlist. I think
Mhm.
my song would fit it." Like, this is something that you can do that a lot of people don't know about. You can open up your Spotify browser on your desktop and then type in, I think you just type in like the at symbol, and then a whole bunch of emails will show up, and those emails are all Spotify playlist curators. So,
Wow.
like, hustle, get gritty with it. Like, email every single one of those emails with your track and just be like, hey, I like your playlist. You could copy and paste it even. I mean, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
yeah, you just can't rely on word of mouth people from your area. Like, posting a song on your Instagram, only the people that follow you are going to see it.
Yeah.
You're never gonna grow like that. And that's something I wish I would have realized way earlier on. I was trying to make people like my music instead of trying to find the people who already like my music. They just haven't heard it. That's the
It's
biggest
facts,
thing.
bro.
Like there's, and this applies for every single artist. I guarantee it. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how bad your music is or how good it is or where you're from. There is a group of people out there who will love your music. You just got to find them. And
Yeah.
they might not be from your hometown. That's okay. You just got to find them. And once you do, man, things are gonna get great. And I haven't found mine yet, but I'm working on it. I think I will. I
Yeah.
think I'm getting there.
Okay. So you talked about like how you because like mainly just rap and then now you're kind of transitioning to different few styles. And that's one thing I wanted to talk about after I kind of went back and listened to some of your music and I kind of wanted just to get an idea for how it's changed. And I remember looking at Steezy and it felt like you said, it was more of that kind of rap, especially that Mario Kart, just kind of going hard on it.
Yeah,
And then for Home, it was kind of a whole different feel. It felt more kind of like soulful and kind of more message driven. I
right.
like that a lot. Like I liked how like you kind of have the um, and one thing I want to ask is kind of like your kind of meaning behind it because I know it's like happiness over everything and stuff like that. So, but I definitely could tell the different like whether it's a little auto tune here, then you had Olivia Floyd kind of come in and have some cool melodies, and then you have a little melodies and stuff too. So that kind of difference from like just the just rap, and I thought that was great. I think that's a lot of what artists are doing now is just doing very little things to get creative and make things sound cool, and that's what's gonna like I think help them stand out, and it's going to be really cool to kind of see those little things because they could be very small. It could be like a different change in the beat or a different sound of a voice, whatever. But it's those little things that keeps the attention and keeps it catchy and keeps it cool. So
Right.
kind of, so I've definitely noticed that, and that was actually one of the questions I was going to ask you too, which is kind of cool. And so how, where did you kind of come up with doing those little things? Is it kind of just listening to music and, as you said, kind of just getting more knowledge and experience?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I also like to. I mean, I'm not good at it at all times, but I like to try to get myself out of my comfort zone, try new things. So
Good.
that home album, it actually came out before Steezy, but the home album was one of the albums where I was like kind of just saying to myself, let's see what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never really used auto tune very much. I've never tried singing. I've always wanted to make an album that was like personal, that meant something to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had made some songs in the past that meant something to me, but for the most part, all my projects were just mixtapes. Like they didn't really tell a story, and
Yeah.
so I really wanted to do that. And Home was the best we could do at that time. If I was going to go back and redo it, I think I could do it 100 times better today.
Really.
But yeah, but Home was really good. Whenever we dropped it, we thought it was really good, and it still is really good. Like it's a good
It
project.
is.
It
It
is.
is.
But I mean, I've grown so much even since then, and that was like
Mm-hmm.
barely even a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what was the kind of message that you're trying to, or that story you're kind of trying to portray in that album?
So if you listen to the very first track, it's not a song, it's like an intro,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a poem at the end there that I really like, and it's correlating home and love. So the whole album takes you on a journey. The beginning, you're like getting into your car, you put the destination into the GPS, and then they tell you you'll be home in 26 minutes. That's the length of the project, and
That's dope.
so it's about finding home, but home could stand for a lot of things. Home could stand for love. Home could stand for somewhere you belong. And for me, it stood for both. It also stood for, I think it stood for um, where I want to be musically because that was kind of like a coming of age album for me. Everything before then was kind of eh. I feel like
Yeah.
that one was the one where I was just really like, okay, this is actually pretty good. Like I'm really proud of this. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of songs in there. Like every song, it's all in order. Um, it's been a while since I've even listened to it, honestly. So I couldn't tell you it like off the top of my head, but
It's all
but
good.
uh, every single song is in its place for a reason. Every single song is crucial. Like if you took one song out, the album it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't tell the story fully. So
Yeah.
it's about finding love, finding home where you belong. That's what it's
Yeah.
about.
Damn, bro, that's cool. And I listened to it a few days ago, and I could like feel that kind of like story and message behind it. It was cool, and it was like I said, those little things really like made that impact. And I don't know, that's cool. Um, so kind of where I'm just kind of curious on some kind of goals. Like kind of where do you see yourself in the future? Do you have any like goals about like where you want to be? Like is this something that, like full throttle 100%? I want to make music as like a career. Don't want to do it. Just kind of see where it takes me. Kind of what's your kind of goals and kind of vision for it right now?
So I am undecided on whether or not I want to be an artist going for, like I'm gonna keep making music obviously
Hmm.
until I get tired of it, but I don't think the important part of it to me is like blowing up or anything. Like I just want to make music because I like to make music, and if people want to listen to it and they get something from it, that's awesome. But my goals are more not on the artist side, but more on like me and my buddy. We started this little. I hate to say the word record label because it's not because I don't
Hmm.
like record labels.
Like
They're
a
not
collective,
good.
maybe.
It's like a collective kind of, yeah. So we want to give artists the tools to succeed and show them like it's possible to make it without a big record label's help. Like we want to
Hmm.
help them with. We have recording studios. We have one in Cape. We have one in Nashville. Cape's where I'm from, down south in
Yeah,
Missouri.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we have a location in Cape, location in Nashville. So we help them with that. We rent out our services, and then on top of that, we help them with like literally everything else. You know, promotion. We help them with distribution. We help them with marketing, all the stuff that like most artists don't want to do on their own or don't know
Hmm.
how to do on their own because we kind of had to figure it out. We're both artists, me and my partner, so we kind of had to figure everything out on our own, and we just don't want people to have to do that on their own because we know how much it sucks figuring things out when you're just
Yeah,
starting.
yeah. And a lot of people like want to focus on the music, but there's a lot of other aspects that go into it, and that's
Yep.
kind of where sometimes record labels can come in. But obviously, if you're kind of new and starting out, or you don't want to have that relationship with the record label, because there's just kind of like there's a lot of like kind of bad buzz on having like a record label. It depends on
Right.
everyone's situation and stuff like that, so that can just be kind of a gray area for some people. Like I'm just
Hmm.
kind of do my own thing, but there's a lot that comes with it. So that's cool that you're kind of doing that. That's awesome. Hopefully that kind of wherever that takes you. That'd be cool to kind of do with that. All right, man. We can kind of get into the new album in July, so you can kind of share whatever it is you want to share on that real quick.
Uh, the way it came about, so I was gone for like 5 months, disconnected from the world, no music, no nothing. I was at basic training and then job training for the National Guard.
Oh, cool.
So I missed a lot and I was gone for a while. So when I got back, I felt like I was behind because like all my buddies were like dropping all this music and I was like, well, I don't have anything really.
Yeah.
So the album is a collaboration project with me and one of my good friends. His name's Young Neva. Super dope. He's a great artist. So he was over one day, and I think he was asking me like, what are you planning to do? And I was like, honestly, bro, I have no idea. Like, I don't even know where to start right now. And so I don't remember if I suggested it or if he suggested it, but we were like, well, let's do a collaboration project. And I was like, you know what? Man, that sounds good. He's actually on Mario Kart. He's the second verse on
Hmm.
Mario Kart.
Hmm.
So yeah, he's really good, and it just kind of. I mean, it's not a super big project by any means. It's only 6 songs, so I mean, you could barely even call it an album. But
Yeah.
there's 6 really good songs that we really worked hard on.
Hmm.
I'm really excited about it for sure.
Cool. What's I know like the home was a little bit more story driven, and then Steezy was a little bit more um, rap rap centered. What's this one kind of about? Unless you don't want to share that, which is
No,
no.
I mean that's fine. This one is kind of I guess the best of both worlds. Like this one has some songs with some meaning, but as a whole, it doesn't really tell a story.
Hmm.
We've got a little bit of everything on it. So we've got some of the like steezy type songs, like the rapping going hard, and
Mhm.
then we've got more like the home type stuff, like the melodic, vibey, chill music. We've got it's 3 and 3, so it's like a perfect split.
Okay.
I'm super stoked. I mean, I feel like there's something for everybody on it. Honestly, I really
Okay.
do.
Cool. You have that variety of like kind of the rev, and you have the variety of like the chill melodies. That's
Right.
cool. Heck yeah.
Just shout out my mom. I love you. I'm definitely gonna make her watch this video. I hope you put that in there just so she sees it. But nah, I mean that's corny as hell. Sorry about that. But yeah, other than that, nah, I'm good, man. I just
All
really
right.
appreciate the opportunity. This is cool.
In the morning feeling blessed up, yeah. Sun up, wanna come up, not supposed to be here, so you best believe I'm about to run up a check on everybody.